report conducted for Connecticut's 5th Congressional District. We're here tonight with Mark Greenberg, Republican challenger for congressional seat currently held by Chris Murphy. Mark presently lives in Litchfield, Connecticut with his wife Linda and their 4 young children. Mark is a graduate of Cornell University. After graduating, he founded 2 companies. First, Adirondack Mobile Telephone and Adirondack Radio Telephone, and they supplied mobile telecommunication services throughout upstate New York. And it was the official provider for pagers and mobile phones during the Winter Olympics in Lake Placid, New York. In 1980, Mark created MGRE, a firm that is now one of the largest real estate management firms based on residential properties managed. He's also opened several local businesses, including The Market, a food market specializing in natural fish, meat, and groceries, and Goshen Hardware, an old-time hardware store serving the northwest corner. Mark and his wife founded the Simon Foundation Incorporated, an animal rescue shelter, which has helped adopt more than 500 dogs to loving homes. The foundation has 1 location in Bethlehem and is slated to open a new Greenberg, Connecticut rescue facility this April 15th. Thank you for agreeing to interview with us, Mark.
Thank you very much.
We're honored to speak with you this evening, and we sincerely appreciate your willingness to engage the wide network of grassroots organizations that have grown in Connecticut and across the nation this past year.
I appreciate the efforts that you people make, without whom we'd be in more serious trouble.
Thank you. Your answers to the 8 Independence Caucus vetting questions are now posted on our website. And tonight we're pleased to be holding this interview with you. We'll begin with panel introductions. And while everyone here is a member of Independence Caucus, we all come from various grassroots groups. So what we're asking everyone to do is state their name, their town of residence, and to identify the grassroots group through which they came to Independence Caucus. Then we'll ask you to make a brief statement regarding the principles of your campaign. After which the panelists will take turns asking questions, and hopefully the whole thing takes about an hour. I'll begin with the introductions. My name is Bill Herring. I'm a lifelong resident of Terryville, Connecticut, and the group I represent is a small group of dedicated individuals whom we call ourselves Connecticut Conservatives.
I'm Frank Short from New Milford, Connecticut. I've been there for 40 years. Before that, I was born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut. I came here through Glenn Beck's 912 project and through the Tea Party movement. Welcome, Mark.
Thank you very much.
I'm Robin Emmett. I'm from Cheshire, Connecticut, and I learned about Independence Caucus through the Connecticut Patriot Alliance.
My name is Denise Casano. I live in Congressional, Connecticut, and in addition to I-Caucus, I belong to the Danbury 912 group.
Tim Lennox, Meriden, Connecticut. In addition to I-Caucus, I'm also associated with RightPrinciples.com. I first found out about the Independence Caucus at the Connecticut Liberty Forum. And I'm also a member of my RTC, and yes, it's official, I am a delegate. But I am encouraging my fellow Republican delegates and leading my example that I will not make my decision until the Independence Caucus has finished making theirs.
Alice Lemaine from Cheshire, Connecticut, and I also belong to the Cheshire Tea Party.
Well, my name is Mark Greenberg, of course, as you know by now, and I'm 56 years old. I started a business called MGRE, as you mentioned, 36 years ago, and it is one of the largest businesses of its type doing management of real estate properties in the Northeast. I have a good business background, and because of that business background, I realized that we need to send people to Washington who have a business background, such as mine. The people that we have in Washington have long forgotten what this document says. And as my stump speech or my discussion with RTCs, as Frank knows and Tim knows, I always have this in my pocket. As a matter of fact, I always have this document in my pocket all the time. That's the way it was sitting here. I refer to it, I talk to it, I know it, I respect it. And the people who wrote that document had a very, very keen sense of history. I graduated Cornell University in 1975 with distinction in all subjects in the area of Greek and Latin. When I was in Cornell in 1975, I was actually somewhat fluent in Latin, even though it's a dead language, and I knew ancient Greek as well. I received the right to go to Brasenose College under a scholarship, which I declined. I then went into real estate, but I had a very, very good classics background, understanding of history. And I believe that the Founding Fathers had a very, very good understanding of history. They studied ancient Greek. They studied the Roman Empire. They studied the Roman Republic. They studied the failures of government. They studied the successes of government. If you were to read through this Constitution very carefully, you won't find the word democracy. This is based upon res publica, public thing, literally in Latin, which means, broadly speaking, that it's a government based upon institution and laws. It's a government based upon the belief that the people that are covered by this document are going to follow the laws, respect the laws. And when they fail to follow the laws and respect the laws, that's when this thing starts to crumble. So in my discussions, I discussed that we should go back to understanding it, respecting it, and bringing it back to life as a real document with people who wrote it, who knew what they were talking about. I entered this race because I had no choice, really. In my opinion, things are going so poorly that I can't sit aside, I can't have my discussions with my friends and discuss how bad it is without doing something about it. I've never been the kind of person to complain without doing something about it. If you're a complainer, you don't have a right to discuss and be critical. If you have the capability, you have to do something about it. I had the capability. I was blessed to be a member of this great country and the American dream, so I have been very successful. I won't apologize for that. Because of that, I was able to spread the obligations of my businesses to various people in my companies. I was able to spread the obligation of running the Simon Foundation to executive directors, and decided that I would be doing this until successful. It's very important that we replace liberals who spend and disregard and trash this Constitution with people who respect the Constitution and who spend money based upon the money being available, which is a unique thought. And I decided I had to do it. If not me, who? If not now, when? Those are the principles that I live by. And that's why I've dedicated myself right now for this run. And I've dedicated to be successful, as I have been, I believe, in my life. So my young children are going to have to wait a little longer to be read to and to be put asleep at night, because there's something that's, at this point, a bit more important for me to do.